Indians, 100 million blacks in the slave trade. You are responsible for the crimes of your forefathers. A lot of you white people walk around here like, I never had slaves. You were never a slave. I never had slaves. But you benefit for the crimes of your forefathers. The reason why you are able to walk around and enjoy Hollywood is because your fathers had to kill. They had to rape and they had to murder innocent people for you to have that opportunity. Does it make sense? Highness! The Lord hates Esau. And if you so-called white people, you are descended from a man named Esau in the Bible. I think you better learn your history, okay? You are the original caveman. And this is the original caveman that you see right here. The original...
I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home. Only a place of captivity, saved facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy.
As a young black man, I feel that I have an obligation to my race of people. Not to no other race or no other nationality, just to black people. As a young black man, I feel that I have an obligation to my race of people. Not to no other race or no other nationality, just to black people.
But there's so many lies that we believe and so many doctrines within doctrines in the Christian church. Like they say, plead the blood of Jesus. What the hell does that mean? The prophets of the Lord are being rose up again in this time period to bring back the Lord's chosen people. That's and right. To stand on our feet and be those people again. That
your ancestors wasn't junkies. They wasn't getting high and, you know what I mean, hating one another and killing one another. You know why? Because they was being killed by the slave master. They wasn't, your ancestors had a different mindset. And if you really think about it, our ancestors were stronger than us and they were better than us. You know why? Because they knew they had an enemy and they knew who their enemy was. Today, black people don't know who your enemy is.
How the hell you think we got this truth? The I.S.U.P.K didn't come out of thin air. This truth comes from slaves, remembering that they were the children of Israel. We are the children of God. And if you don't understand it yet, you will understand it. We will bring it to you. We will get it through your brain that you are God's chosen people. And there is no dream. There is no thing. There is no success without learning who you are as a people.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above when they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white man. Need to stop it. Ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that. Let bygone be. Boy, ask you to stop it. Ask you to prop. It's about to get serious.
What's good, Israel? What's good with y'all? Shalom, Lord in Christ. To all the brothers, to all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer at the Walker Bar. And yes, you read it right. We are going to go into the Chariots. That will be the main topic of discussion. But first, we'll do any questions. We'll also talk about some current events. So I'm sure everybody is caught up to speed with Kendrick Lamar. Everybody is caught up to speed with a lot of the things that's going on as far as Russia and China. What's his name? The dictator of, I'm sorry, not China, but North Korea, the dictator of North Korea, Kim Won-jong. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he took a ride with Vladimir Putin. So they hanging out together, took a ride in the car. He driving. This is the same dictator in North Korea that Dennis Rodman had went over there and hung out with, you know, because he's a young leader, right? But World War III is right around the corner, man, and people are linking up. People are getting together, making allies, getting their armies ready. You see America just trying to solidify for a future, in case of a future draft, in case of an imminent war that just pops out of nowhere. America is trying to solidify their ranks. It's not a draft yet. It's just a proposal. But by automatically enrolling men from the age of 18 to 26, whereas it used to be something that was like, well, the military in America is voluntary right now. So you people go to the military because they want to, not because they have to. Well, in case of an imminent war, there will be a draft, and if you don't go, that will be considered a felony. Okay. And now it used to be, because I remember it used to be where you would enroll for selective service on a job application. So you would just fill it out. You would just do it. It was like a checkbox, like check the box. But now they're making it to where it's automatic, right? Because times are changing and people are linking up and allying with each other. And, you know, we know, according to the scriptures, that we look at the signs of the times and we see what's going on in this earth, and we understand that these are those times, right? But yeah, Kendrick Lamar had that thing where he basically brought brothers together, so to speak. People saying he brought LA together, right? And unified LA. And he said then he said one West. Brothers took special offense to that. Brothers like, nah, man, you need to get in all black. We need to get one West copyrighted, because people gonna start saying it, before you know it, it's gonna be on a t-shirt. Right? So I'm gonna go over a scripture about unity, about brotherhood. Let me get it real quick. This will be Psalms 133. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. I don't got a sword, so I'm gonna use the computer. As always, I don't know what happened to my sword. Somebody got my sword. Maybe it's just somewhere in the school, laying up under something. And I read this last week, but this is when you talk about unity, it's one thing to unify in the world of rap music, in the world of hip hop, a gang truce, a hood truce, a ceasefire. You see that in the Gaza Strip. It's one thing to come to a truce and come to an agreement and to unify in those different areas. It's another thing to unify under the Lord. Like, I don't think people really understand, looking from the outside in into the truth. Y'all probably, a lot of brothers and sisters in the truth, they probably look at us as though, you know, well, I know they look at us like we're a boys club. The truth is not a boys club. The truth is not a drinking club. The truth is not a biker gang. The truth is none of that. The truth is the foundation of what Christ laid down with the disciples. It's the extension of true brotherhood, truly treating people, your brothers and sisters that you see every day, like you want to be treated. And I said that before. Like, I want to be talked to a certain kind of way. I want to be treated a certain kind of way when I'm amongst people in the world, in the workplace. And so I'm going to extend that same gratitude. The problem is with our people, we don't do that. We are very vile and very evil, very vindictive to one another. We basically prey on one another like others have preyed on us in the past. That's what we basically do when it comes to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We don't have a care in the world for how we treat one another. We could really care less. We're all about self. We're self-seeking, and that's it. There is no, you can't be unified where everybody is trying to be important. Everybody is trying to prove their point. Everybody has their certain belief. Like, we can't even be unified under being oppressed. You can't even get us to unify under being oppressed. Now, we can unify under music, East Coast versus West Coast. We can unify over the things that really don't mean anything in the big picture. Am I making myself clear? Like it, yeah, it looks great on camera. But it was just I just seen a car chase in LA live. Somebody just got stabbed the other day. Like, all of that was for show. It looks good, and people will congratulate Kendrick Lamar and everybody that came together, but it doesn't trickle down to how Black and Hispanic people are really treating one another in LA. There's no unity in the West. That's an illusion. The only unity there is in the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA. There is really no unity outside of that. You even see these fake Israelite groups break off, fight with one another, hurt one another, unalive women, snitch on one another. You see these other groups do all of these things that people in the Christian church do. And like I said, you leave that Christian church thinking you found something new. And what you really just found is a different form of Christianity, whereas Christianity allows you to be who you are with no consequences. You can be the same person who you are with no consequences, and nobody ever examining you and checking you for it. What the truth allows is for you to be able to confront a brother or a sister for how they moving, how they talk to people, how they talk to you. You can pull them to the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's checks and balances in the truth. There's no checks and balances in the Christian church. There's no checks and balances in these fake Israelite groups. Nobody has to report to anybody. Nobody has to serve anyone. Everybody wants to be served. Everybody wants to, what's the phrase they say? Like, somebody that wants to be important. It's what is that phrase? It's like an Indian. Everybody wants to be an Indian. Okay, yeah, everybody wants to be an Indian, but everybody wants to be a chief, but nobody wants to just be an Indian. Everybody wants to be the chief. Everybody has this big idea. And that's why you have so many denominations, so many buildings filled with so-called men of God, women of God. And our people have not even learned how to treat each other right and how to even dwell in unity and in peace. So let me read this real quick. This is Psalms 133:1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. That's a very pleasant thing. Your mind is at ease. Your senses are at ease. Black and Hispanic people be around one another at functions and they're not at ease. You got to be on alert. And if you're not on alert, you high as hell. You high and intoxicated as hell. So you don't have to be in worry mode. But that's the experience for us. The experience is like, you ever notice, like, it'd be a function or something. And, you know, you got a lot of black people that be like, well, it's about time to go. It's starting to get dark. You ever notice that? Excuse me. Like in the back of our mind, we're like, you know, I can't hang out too late because, you know, niggas start acting up. You know, my people they be tripping and stuff. So about that time, the sun look like it's starting to get dark. Yeah, I'm about to pack it up and go home. Like we live in a constant state of fear, even amongst each other. That's not pleasant, right? That's something that shouldn't be. And it's only because of how we grew up. It's only because of what we've learned, what God is and what requirements of a good person is that we're stuck in this limbo where we still can't figure out how to treat one another. We still don't know what it is for us to all get together. We have all of these great ideas about what's going to fix the black community, but none of those ideas implemented ever work. I would just listen to last night I was on a run. I was driving on Highway 138. I went to Palmdale in the tractor trailer. And you know, I put on the last radio show, Commander Junior YAHANNA's radio show. And the story about what was the story about? It's jogging my memory right now. Think about the particulars. Hell, it'll come back to me. It'll come back. But the point is that is the unity that we claim to have and the ideas that we say that are going to work. Oh, okay. It was about the brothers going out there to the brothers that came together in Raleigh and Durham, went to the projects, to another housing project where the children don't even have shoes to wear, but yet you have a nonprofit that is getting grants from the government. I think the tune was $6 million grants for the government, and they just caught one of them with a whole bunch of cocaine and money in his car. So this is supposed to be a nonprofit that has the answer to black people. It's going to help fix black people, but yet one of the people get caught with a whole bunch of drugs and money. In the I.S.U.P.K under Commander Junior YAHANNA, the brothers out there, salute to those brothers. Shout out to those brothers. Captain I.S.U.P.K. Who else was it? I can't really remember, but Captain I.S.U.P.K is in that region for sure. Shout out to those brothers. I believe it's brother Officer Iraq. Some more brothers out there. A lot of brothers came together. Even brothers from DC went. But yet they're out there giving shoes. We're giving shoes under Commander Junior YAHANNA. But the people that have the answer, the so-called answer, they're snorting coke and selling coke. They're getting money to go and help these people, but yet they're not doing none of that. That's Christianity. That's the Christian church in a nutshell. Getting all the funding and getting all the money, but none of that money goes back to the people that are actually the parishioners and the loyal followers of that pastor. Been going to the church for years. And you're supposed to have the answer. You're supposed to make the community more unified. People are supposed to learn, you know, things they never learned. It's a shame that we didn't learn that as children in the Black and Hispanic community. Many of us didn't learn to treat people how you want to be treated. A lot of times what ends up happening is you bump into a wall. A lot of times what end up happening is something happens that teaches you a lesson. Something happens to teach you a lesson and you learn that you ain't as tough as you think you are. Or you can't just talk to people how you want to talk. You can't just, you know, treat people how you want to treat them. You got to respect other people. But these are lessons that we should have learned. Many of us should have learned when we were younger. We should have learned, like, you know, it doesn't cost you anything to treat somebody how you want to be treated. Right? Let me read it one more time. Psalms 133, Psalms chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. It's like it is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garment. It's an anointed thing, a beautiful thing. It says precious. It's something to hold on to. It's something to protect and guard and be proud of it, because it's very rare in this earth. Very, very rare in this earth, especially with us. Very rare, right? So yeah, when it came to this unity thing, the West Coast is unified. The West Coast is not unified. The East Coast is not unified. The North, the South, none of it is unified, because Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are still in fake theologies and ideologies, still Christians, still Muslims, still believing in themselves, still believing in the ancestors, whatever the hell that means. But that really irks me when brothers and sisters, usually it's these Black women that be talking about worship the ancestors and that, you know, the ancestors are looking over me. I was just in a discussion with some people at my slave about death, about your loved ones watching over you. Let me get this real quick. So I was talking about, we got in a conversation because they, you know, like Christians, they believe that when your loved one passed away, they're, you know, they like your guardian and angel, and when you drive and when they're looking over you and they're watching over you. How many of y'all have heard that before? Let me see what I want. So that'll be Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. That's what I want. Let me look at the comments. Halak, what you mean? What you saying? So here it is, Ecclesiasticus, not Asticus, Ecclesiastes 9 and 10, chapter 9, verse 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest. Okay, so we're talking about death, and I was just speaking on, like, I got in a conversation, and I was just expressing to a brother that basically when your loved ones die, they are not watching over you. You know, they don't turn into your guardian angels. That's the movies. The Bible says there is no work, there is no device, there's no knowledge, there is no apparatus, there's nothing that could bring you back. There's nothing that you could do once you are gone. You are in the presence of the Lord, of the Most High, right? Let me read it again. It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. And this is really heavy because it's getting to the point. It's saying while you're alive, while you are living, and you have a thing that you do, a profession, a skill, do it to the best of your ability. They have this saying, don't leave nothing on the table, right? Or not the table. Like in sports, they say, or in basketball, they say, I didn't leave anything on the court. I gave it my all while I was in between those four lines. I gave it my all. I left nothing on the court. So whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that is your gift, whatever it is that you have a skill for, that you love to do, that you're good at it. It says, do it with your might. Do it to the best of your ability. Be the best version of yourself. Be the best you can be. Be excellent, and have excuse me, have the bar set very high for yourself. Because when you die, there is nothing you can do that can bring you back. There is no knowledge. There is no device. There is nothing. There's no wisdom in the grave. Nothing at all. And I joke and I say, you know, I didn't live the life. Whether I was living, I'm saying like in, you know, future. I didn't live this life, and life was life. Life was life, and I don't bother me. I mean, I'm with the Lord now. I don't feel like coming back to watch over you and stop you from doing dumb shit and stand in front of bullets and get in front of a fist while you running up on people, and you know you doing all of this foolishness and putting yourself in messed up situations. I ain't got time for that. And I say that jokingly. I ain't got time to be, listen, I'm at rest. Let a nigga be at peace. I ain't got time to be your guardian angel. And I say that lightly. I say that jokingly. But for real, like, think about it. You done live your life. You done had a hard knock life. You done worked hard. You done did what you're supposed to do. Now you got to come back and work again and be the guardian angel to some brother or some sister that's hard-headed as hell, that's making rash decisions. Nah, I'm cool. I'll pass on that. I'll be at peace. I'll sleep. Let me sleep with my forefathers. Bury me with my forefathers. Let me rest with my forefathers. Okay. So yeah. So now what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go into chariots, okay? The chariots of the Lord. Speak a little bit about that. So we're going to get Zechariah 1 and 5. That's where I'm going to start at. Where I'm at. Where's my notes? So Zechariah 1 and 5. Before I do that, let me put up these slides, because I have some slides. Got some good history too on chariots. So I just want to get these lined up. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, preparation is everything. Preparation is everything. And I was not fully prepared today, which happens. Things happen, you know. So okay, looks like they're loading. Y'all give me a second. I'll just put this intro. I'm gonna play a video real quick.
According to God, the white man is the devil. You see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white man. Need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, ask you to stop and ask you to prop. It's about to get serious. Go ahead. When they hit us with.
Yeah, I'm back. Most High in Christ. So we're going to get the book of Zechariah, chapter 5, verse 1, if you could for me.
Okay. The book of Zechariah, chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll.
Zechariah turned and looked up, and he saw a flying roll. He saw a flying roll. In ancient times, they would roll the precepts together in a roll like a scroll. He saw this scroll in the sky. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits.
So the angel said, what you see? He said, I see a flying roll. And believe it or not, they have images of flying rolls, cylinder rolls. I'll pull up one of those pictures real quick. But he said it was what? How big was it?
Okay. And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits.
So the length thereof was 20 cubits. A cubit, I think you had a short cubit and a long cubit. So a cubit would have been about between 18 and 20 inches. Go ahead.
Okay. And the breadth thereof 10 cubits.
10 cubits. So this roll would have been about 35 feet long, around the length of your average school bus. Your average school bus is about 35 to 40 feet long. And then it said how wide? What was the breadth of it?
Thereof 10 cubits.
10 cubits. So about 16, 15 feet wide. He's seen this roll. Keep reading.
Verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth.
The angel said, this is the curse that goes forth over the earth. This is a curse to the earth. Go ahead.
For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it.
So he said, everyone that stealeth, right? Everyone that stealeth, the thief, shall be cut off. And everybody that swears falsely in the name of the Most High. We know who the thief is. The thief is your oppressor. The thief is the person that stole your identity. The thief is the person that stole the identity of God and the angels. The thief is the person that stole the land from the Native American Indians. The thief is the deceiver. He is your oppressor, who you know as your oppressor, or you know as the man. Okay. He is the descendant of the Romans. He is the symbol of the daughter of Babylon, his empire. Go ahead. I'm sorry. And swear falsely by his name. That's what it said, right? Not by his name, but I'm breaking it down. I'm sorry. Who sweareth, right? Say, God bless America. And they say, this is Jesus. This is what Christ looks like. We are blessed because of God. When none of those things are true. But this flying roll would be a curse to these people. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief.
He said, I will bring it forth, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Keep going.
And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name.
Into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. I just broke all of that down, but it will go into the house of the thief. And I broke that down. But it would go to the nation of the thief, into his house, into his realm. And it will show what?
And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of this house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof.
It shall remain there, and it shall consume it with the timber of and the stones of, meaning that's what everything is made out of. So all your buildings, all your homes is made out of stone and timber, masonry, brick, and all of that. It said it's going to consume it. It's going to destroy it. Okay. What verse is that?
That was the end of verse 4.
All right, you can drop that. Let me see what I want. Let's get Ezekiel 1:16. You know, because many people call what they see in the sky, they see it all over the world. They call them unidentified objects. But I'm going to show you tonight that these things have been around since the time of our forefathers.
1 and 5.
1:16. Sorry.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
The appearance of the whales and their work was like unto the color of a beryl, and therefore had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was at it where a wheel in the middle of a wheel.
A wheel in the middle of a wheel. So when you think about a wheel in the middle of a wheel, you're thinking about like a tire is a wheel in the middle of a wheel. A tire with its spokes. You have one circle and then you have another circle. So you think about a so-called UFO, a flying saucer. It's a wheel within a wheel. Except this with Ezekiel is it's describing, I believe it's more so the throne, but it is also describing the likeness of the angels around the throne. Okay, so you can drop that. Give me what I want. Give me 1 Thessalonians 4:16. No, before you get that, give me Psalms 104:3.
Come on. 104 and what?
104:3, verse 3.
Come on.
Psalms 104:3.
The book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chamber in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot.
The Lord says, who maketh the beams? The beams are beams are what you use to build. When you build a foundation, you lay the beams for a home or for a boat. Like it's a basic method of building large structures. But he's talking about the ocean. Read it from the top again.
Come on. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot.
Who maketh the cloud his chariot. Who maketh the clouds his chariot. Now, we know that when we came out of the wilderness, we were given a pillar of a cloud to follow by day and by night. Okay, and this is not just talking about regular clouds. A chariot, when you break it down in the Hebrew, is like a vehicle. That's all it is. It's just a vehicle. And I know many people think like, okay, it's like a chariot, like with a horse and a carriage. But all a chariot really is a vehicle. In this case, we're talking about the vehicles of the Spirit of the Lord, the vehicles of the angels. Okay, read it one more time.
Okay. The book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot.
Who maketh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who walketh upon the wings of the wind.
That's the Lord. You know what I'm saying? In the cloud, in the chariot. Now the chariot could look like anything, to be honest. It doesn't necessarily have to look like a flying saucer. It could look like a cloud, but you would never know that. You know what I'm saying? But the Bible is telling you that the chariot, the Lord is in the chariots, in the clouds. And many times in ancient times when they're saying a cloud, vice versa, they're just speaking about something that they saw in their time. And that's how they're explaining it. And we're reading and thinking like it's just a cloud, when it's actually a spiritual vehicle. Okay. Let me see. Let's get Isaiah 66:15.
Come on.
And while you do that, I'm going to pull up some slides real quick so we can show you. So in ancient times, you know, these are paintings, and let me just say some of them are whitewashed, but I'll pull up some. Many ancient pictures, what you find is there's chariots in the picture. Now these are actually very old, and once again, y'all know, y'all been rocking with me in the history. It's been whitewashed, but the point I'm making is that you can find chariots in a lot of these old paintings. Okay, and this one in particular is a painting of Mary supposedly being in a room. This is from the 1400s. And at the top, there's a chariot in the cloud, and it's shooting a beam of light through the building, pointed at Mary's head while she's on her knees praying. In ancient times, people knew that these things existed, and they've always existed. Okay. They have always existed. Give me that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
It says the Lord will come with his chariots. He will come with fire. He will come with indignation. What is it talking about? It's talking about the day of the Lord.
Right.
It's talking about Judgment Day. The thing you've seen all the time on movies. They call it in Alien Invasion, Independence Day. That's the day it's talking about. The day when, all the world puts down all of their beef and they come together to fight one common enemy. Ronald Reagan talked about that. I don't know if we can pull that video. Let me see if I can pull that video. Ronald Reagan talked about that thing. Because your oppressor knows what's out there. He knows who the Lord is and how the Lord moves. Give me 1 second. I think Donald Trump even said something about it during his term. Let's see if we can get this. Okay, I think this is it. Let me see. Screen share this. Screen share. Window.
What if free people could live secure in the knowledge that their security did not rest upon the threat of instant U.S. retaliation to deter a Soviet attack, that we could intercept and destroy strategic ballistic missiles before they reached our own soil or that of our allies? I know this is a formidable technical task, one that may not be accomplished before the end of this century. I call upon the scientific community in our country, those who gave us nuclear weapons, to turn their great talents now to the cause of mankind and world peace, to give us the means of rendering these nuclear weapons impotent and obsolete.
I don't think this is the one. It's very similar to this. But he basically said that he basically said that everybody should come together for a common enemy, and created the space program, the Star Wars program, where they put a space station. And I'm sure y'all have heard of this. They have a space station that's in the orbit now, where different countries are confederate together, where they send astronauts up there, and they have weapons to be able to shoot anything that is coming towards Earth. Okay, come with it again. Give me that precept again.
Come on. The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury.
The Lord is going to render his anger with chariots. Now, that's why I said they're not clouds. He's going to render his anger and with fire and with his chariots. Is there any more on that? What verse are we on?
I'm still in verse 15.
Go ahead.
And his rebuke with flames of fire.
With flames of fire. His rebuke with flames. That we're talking about, World War III. We're talking about the earth being on fire. We're talking about nuclear warfare. We're talking about all a combination of those things and the chariots in it. Right. And the Lord is bringing it all. He's orchestrating it all. Go ahead.
Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword.
Okay, that's where it is. All right, Halak, no sweat. Good looking out, Halak. Hold that real quick. Okay. He put it in the chat. Most High in Christ. Let me get it real quick. Let's see. Let me listen to it real quick. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna screen share for y'all. This is let me see.
With antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
That's Ronald Reagan talking about an extraterrestrial threat that could come. Put aside their differences. That's in the Bible, where they put aside their differences. They're going to try to fight Christ and the angels, but they won't win.
Right.
The white man has very great technology. When I grew up, I used to love airplanes. And one day I realized that the airplanes that I love, the fighter jets that I love, they were very, very old. They were like 20 years my senior. I was like a little boy, but I'm like, these airplanes seem so advanced and so, great and aerodynamic. They have a fighter jet called the F-22 Raptor that is the top of the line. It's like a dream come true of the things that it is capable of doing.
Right.
It puts all of the things you want in the greatest fighter jets into one fighter jet. It could hover like a helicopter. It could, go from 0 to 1,000 miles an hour in a second. It's just unbelievable the capability that it has. It can go undetected by radar. What was you gonna say? Go ahead.
Constant. Like I was hearing about that jet, and I was hearing about the prior model and the model after that. And the U.S. was creating these jets to compete with themselves because no one else can compete with those jets. So it's like they was just fighting themselves and building a better jet, and the F-22 is like the result of that. So
and so the F-22, and I'll probably pull up a video of the F-22. It has capabilities that are crazy. It actually could, if you was to pass out, it could take over and fly itself. It just has capabilities that previous versions of fighter jets that were considered, you know, the latest technology never had. And so America is the world superpower in as far as air superiority. And even with all of that, it cannot compare to the spiritual chariots of God.
right.
Because what the man doesn't realize is that these are not mechanical. They're not mechanical. They're spiritual. Okay. And many pilots who have encountered chariots in the sky and try to chase them, they realize right away that it's impossible to catch them because they move like lightning. They disappear in a blink of an eye. They change shape. They move at the speed of lightning. And that goes against the laws of physics. There's no possible way that they could ever compete with the chariots of the Lord or with the power of the Lord, or because man is man and God is God. Give me some more on what you got, that same precept. I don't know if we finished it.
You want verse 16?
Yes.
The book of Isaiah chapter 66 verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
It's going to be a lot of people that's going to be laid down.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of bodies in the streets of Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. Is that, what verse is that? 15? Just 15?
That was the end of 16.
Okay. Now, I want to show you a video. This video, some of y'all probably know about, some of y'all don't know about. This is a former NASA scientist. He's like 90 years old, and he's being interviewed about UFOs. I want you to hear what he says. So this is a former NASA scientist, Norman Berggren. Okay.
Okay, but if there are craft, there are beings.
Okay, people have asked me about, I call them vehicles, okay?
Right.
Now,
And she asked him about UFOs. He said he calls them vehicles. When you break down the word in the Hebrew, you go into the Strong's Concordance in the Hebrew. With chariot, it's a vehicle. That's all it is. It's a vehicle. What type of vehicle? Doesn't matter. It's a vehicle that somebody that's driving. Okay.
I did not call them objects. That was too neuter for me.
Okay.
I had a Stanford professor said you ought to call them objects. No. They have all of the qualities of a vehicle.
He said, other people want to call them objects. He had a Stanford professor that told him he should call them objects. He said he called him vehicles because they have all the qualities. I'm sorry.
They can move. They're just like a missile or anything like that.
He said, so they have all the qualities of a vehicle, right? You was going to raise your hand or something?
All
right. So that much we can say about them, for sure.
Okay.
So I'm calling it a vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, somebody comes along and says, well, now, where would you manufacture one that's 2.5 Earth lengths long. And that's a hard question to answer.
So are you not positing the idea that those vehicles contain, beings who are, maybe like us?
Yeah, I only go along with government images. And if you want to know about people kind of thing, there is the ship that picked up the Voyager capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard, and they have a picture there of I think it's the Apollo flight that.
So what he's getting to, she's asking him about, are there beings in these ships like us, like people? And he's saying, if you want to talk about a people thing, there is a situation in Alameda Naval Yard where they have pictures. He's going to explain. He's going to talk about Neil Armstrong and somebody else probably being a part of the same mission.
Bugs and Neil were on, but anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
He says there's one image there that is showing black people getting off a UFO, so-called UFO.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
So she said people with dark skin getting off. He said not dark, black. They have a picture. He's seen a picture. This is a NASA scientist of a chariot or a UFO with black people getting off of it. Let me rewind it.
People with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
So people with dark skin.
There is one image there.
He said there's one image there
that shows black people getting off.
That shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black.
Well, you know how hard this is for Edomites to process in their brain. These are people that are groomed to be where they are. You don't grow up in poverty and end up being inside of a NASA mission. Many of these people, their fathers have worked for, the military and NASA for generations. And it's very hard for them to process that what they thought were little green men and little gray men are black men.
Right.
Inside of these celestial spacecraft. It's very hard for us to understand that. It's very hard for people to understand that is what is going on. It's very hard to understand that is how Christ is going to return. But the truth is the truth. You understand? You got anything else on me? Give me Isaiah 31:5. Come on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 5. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it.
The Bible says, as birds fly. You ever seen a flock of birds or an armada of birds? You ever see how birds fly in a flock going to one, migrating somewhere? The Lord said, what? Read it again.
Come on. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem.
He says, as birds fly, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. The Lord of hosts is the Lord of armies.
Right.
Who is the army of the Lord? The angels.
Right.
In the sky. The same way you see birds fly and they fill the sky. You ever see one of those pictures where I think one of the pictures that comes to my mind is a picture with a whole bunch of flamingos taking off. And there's so many of them, they just fill the sky. Read it one more time.
Come on. The book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 5. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem.
So will the Lord, the same way you see birds fly, the Lord will defend Jerusalem that way. Go ahead.
Defending also, he would deliver it.
Where is Jerusalem, though? Jerusalem is the valley of Jehoshaphat, the Middle East. This is where World War III is going to take place.
Right.
Let me get this real quick for you to get the valley decision. You got a question?
Lots.
Right. I worry that it is definitely deep. Joel 3:22. I'm sorry, 3:2. Joel, the book of Joel 3:2. You have a NASA scientist telling you. And see, this is the thing about these Edomites, man. He passed away in 2018. I believe when this interview, I believe he was like 90 years old. This is the thing about Edomites, man. They tell the truth on their deathbed. They tell the truth when they real. They want to tell the truth real when they, they didn't live their life.
Right.
There's no threat of nothing happened to them. They're about to leave this earth. Then they'll tell the truth. They'll tell you like, yeah, it ain't nothing. We never went to the moon. Yeah, we never did this. Go ahead.
It's like the lady that accused was it George Stinney Jr.?
You damn right. Yeah, like the white woman that accused George Stinney. That was 70 years later. His thing was overturned. The white woman that did Emmett Till also.
Okay.
George Stinney was overturned. The white woman that
Salaki,
that with Emmett Till,
right,
she the one said it never happened. She got to live. You get to live out your whole life. Then you want to tell the truth. There's a slave narrative that I it's very sad. It's a very sad slave narrative. Let me just move this real quick. There's a very sad slave narrative that it's with a brother, if I can remember his name. His name was I can't remember his name, but anyway, this brother was praying. It's a true story. He's praying, and the slave master sneaks up on him and hears him praying. He hears him praying for the slave master to have mercy on him. Well, they said they just never seen a brother no more. Now, this slave master, like old man Ashby, on his deathbed, he said he going to hell because he said, the white man, he admitted that he killed this slave for praying. He killed him for praying. But you see, he's on his deathbed now. Now he can tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? But like the point is that they tell the truth when they get older in age and they get a little senile and they get a little fearful of leaving this world. Then they want to tell the truth.
Right.
Go ahead.
The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people.
The Lord said, I will gather all nations and bring them into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the Middle East. And he said, I will plead with them for all nations. It's not what you think is pleading is not begging. He will go to war with them. That's what it means.
Right.
He's not asking them. It's not in the, the modern understanding of the word plead. Like,
right.
Please, are you begging somebody to, I pleaded with him to stop. It's not that. It's, I'm destroying them. I'm going to destroy them over my people. Okay. Is there more of that?
Come on.
Go ahead.
And for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. You want verse 3?
Decision. Where says valley of this? Okay, go ahead.
Verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot
We know this. Y'all know this. You've been in the truth. You know this. They have what?
Have given a boy for an harlot.
They have cast lots. They rolled the dice for our people. Who gonna get what? Who gonna out of the spoils? Who's gonna take what? Go ahead.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
And they given a boy for a harlot. Go ahead.
And sold a girl for wine.
Sold a girl for wine. The Africans sold you cheap. The Africans sold our people for wine and musket guns and spices from the Europeans. Go ahead.
That they might drink. Verse 4, yea. And what have ye to do with me?
How many precepts? How many verses is it? How many
Like, what do you mean?
How many?
Have we read?
Yeah, no. How many till we get to the decision?
Oh, sorry.
Like, how many is it a long chapter? Because if so, we can just drop it.
It's 21 verses.
No, we good.
Okay,
we good. We good. For time's sake, we don't got that much time. But so let me go back to this. Because she tried to throw, it's like she tried to like confuse him. No, he said no. They were very black. They were black. Okay, let me add this back to the stage.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they getting off?
There's one image there that shows black people. But anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Black.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
it's safe. 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
He's saying that 7 feet probably would have been a conservative estimate. How tall they were when they got out the spaceship.
Have you heard about Clark McClellan's?
So this is from the mouth of your oppressor that's telling you there's black people in these chariots. They have a picture of seeing them getting out. Where we at? What you got?
Do you see 1 Thessalonians?
Give me that.
The book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel.
When Christ come back, there's going to be a shout in the voice of that archangel. Go ahead.
And with the trumpet, and with the trump of God.
And you're going to hear a trumpet that's going to be heard all over the earth when on the day of judgment. Go ahead.
And the dead in Christ shall rise first.
And the dead in Christ shall rise first. Go ahead.
Verse 17, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds.
Then we which are alive together shall be caught up with Christ, with them together in the clouds. Go ahead.
To meet the Lord in the air.
To meet the Lord in the air. Where you think we're going to be? In the air floating? No, we're going to be in a chariot in the clouds. We're going to get beamed up while America is being destroyed. That's what's going to happen. The same, how Christ, that's how Christ left. He went into a chariot when he left, and he was going to come back the same way. And that's how we're going to leave and be in safety while the destruction is going on. All right. Give me, is that it on it?
Come on.
Give me Revelations 9 and 16.
Okay. The book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000.
The number of the number was 200,000. 200 million angels. You understand that? That's the army that this world is going to try to fight against, the army of God, the angels of the Lord. Okay, drop that. Give me Isaiah 54 and 16.
Come on. The book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Verse 17, no weapon.
Wait, read that from the top again, that last precept.
Okay. The book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. This is a smith, a blacksmith, somebody who is fashioning a weapon. Usually a blacksmith will fashion a sword. Go ahead.
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
And bringeth forth an instrument for his work, an instrument to do damage. Go ahead.
And I have created the waster to destroy.
And I created the waster to destroy. Go ahead.
Verse 17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper.
No weapon. As for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, your Christian pastor don't know the damn Bible.
Right.
They love that precept. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. You get you going for a job application, trying to get a job. You talking about no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It's not talking about that, dummy.
Right.
Read it from the top again.
Come on. Verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn.
Right.
This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord.
The Lord is preparing an instrument. He's as a blacksmith preparing an instrument that is a waster that's going to go over this earth. It's the chariots of God that's going to go over this earth. We read it earlier, where it's going to sit in the house of the thief and consume the timber and the stones of these. Consume means to destroy.
Right.
When you consume a hamburger, you're destroying it. That hamburger ain't sitting nice and pretty no more after you done consumed it. It's getting crushed, grinded, destroyed, and swallowed. Salakia. Pause. But the point is that when you consume food, you're destroying the food.
Right.
And these chariots are going to destroy Babylon. You understand? They're going to destroy it. Give me. Hold on, let me see. I got something else I want to present. Something is jogging my memory. Let's see. Let me just check real quick. Oh, the chariot that came down in Jerusalem. I'm gonna pull that up, and I'm also gonna pull this one up with a brother in Puerto Rico. But you gotta be, it's kind of because he makes sure to say that they were not Negroes. They were black, but they weren't Negro, right? I'm gonna present this though. We'll present this one.
May 14th, 1988. Amaury Riviera, a young man from Puerto Rico, photographed a giant disc, followed and circled by 2 jet interceptors. What makes the sensational pictures even more interesting is Riviera's claim that he had contact with the occupants of this UFO.
Hello, my name is Amaury Rivera. I live in Puerto Rico. And back in 1988, I was working in a nightclub, and there was a musical group there. One of my cousins wanted me to photograph the musical group, and she loaned me a camera with some film. On my way back home, I encountered 2 small beings, 2 small strange men, which I didn't think were men from outer space. And they took me somewhere where they were.
He encountered 2 small beings that he didn't think they were men from outer space. He thought they were regular men. Okay.
Small, strange men, which I didn't think were men from outer space. And they took me somewhere where there were other people besides myself. Other human people, like from Puerto Rico, I guess. From here, another human being showed up. He claimed to be from a distant planet. He was dressed in black. He had a dark skin, but he was not a Negro. He had.
You hear that? there's not green men and gray men. There are people in these chariots that look just like, in his case, he said it was other Puerto Ricans. And then a man popped up that was very dark skinned in black clothing. But then he says that he was not a Negro. Whatever that means. He was black, but he wasn't Negro. Well, whatever that means, right? I just wanted to present that, but there's something else I want to show you. Many of y'all probably know about this happened years ago in Jerusalem over the Dome of the Rock. The Dome of the Rock is people think that it's a mosque. It's really not a mosque. It's it sits on the mount. It sits on the site where the second temple that was destroyed in 70 AD sits. So it actually is sitting on the rock foundation of the temple of the Israelites in 70 AD. In 600 AD, 70 AD, but in 70 AD, but 600 BC, around 640 something BC, the Muslims built the Dome of the Rock on this area, on the same platform, okay? But today, the Dome of the Rock is venerated by fake Jewish people, fake Israelites, and Arabs that consider it a holy site. And so let me get also where the Dome of the Rock is, it's where the second temple was built. It's the highest place in the old city of Jerusalem. Okay, let me pull this up real quick. So this is just a random video I grabbed, so I might have to scrub through it. Salakia. Let me.
Explanation that fit.
So like a chariot came down, or a light. Many people say it was. There's many videos from different angles throughout Israel. Okay, and when this light, it hovered over. Salakia, let me get it. It hovered over the Dome of the Rock. This is the Dome of the Rock right here. It's Salakia. But this is I think I could get I could get a better video for y'all. Let me get a better video real quick. Salakia on that. I actually downloaded the wrong video. So let me get a better video for y'all. Just to get a base of what happened. Hey, Tawada, y'all rocking with me? Okay, so this will be one angle. This will be one angle that I'm gonna show you. But there's like 4 or 5 angles of people that recorded at the same time.
So like I got the video of the multiple. Want me to send it to you?
I got it.
Okay.
The water.
There's a new video this morning that some say may be proof we're not alone in the universe. A UFO in the form of a bright light is seen descending over the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The video is said to be taken over the weekend. Then suddenly the light shoots up into the sky. There you see it. Another video from a different angle appears to show the light doing the same thing. Those clips have gone viral now.
So, and you can look this up on your own, right? If you could, did we get Psalm 68 and 17? Like it. So this happened years ago. I believe this happened like 2010, maybe. This is a minute ago. You see that it moved like lightning. That is a description in the Bible of how the chariots move there like lightning. Okay. Regular physics, mechanical aircraft that men make cannot move this way.
Right.
What you have?
Psalm 68 and 17. It's like we hadn't got it.
Let me hear it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place.
So the chariots, once again, the chariots are what?
The
chariots of the Lord are what?
The chariots of God are 20,000.
20,000. Go ahead.
Even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them.
Even thousands of angels, and the Lord is among them. The chariots of God are thousands, 20,000, right? And then it says even, meaning they're the same as angels. The chariots are the same as angel. The chariots are the same as angels. Read that from the top again.
Come on. The book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 17. The chariots of God are 20,000.
20,000.
Even thousands of angels.
Even. They're 20,000 even, meaning even means they're the same. Thousands of the chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. They're the same as angels. The chariots. We read where the Lord said that the cloud is my chariot.
Right.
I showed you in ancient times where, let me see. Let me pull this back up. This is an old picture. Let me pull this up. It's from the 1400s. And like I have to just preface this by saying, it's been whitewashed, right? But the point is that this is the image to your left. This is an image of Mary. And at the top in the sky where the arrow is, a red arrow is, that's where the chariot is. And it's a beam of light hitting Mary while she's praying. On the right is the vision of the chariot. And what you see is a cloud shaped like what people would call an unidentified flying object.
Right.
Right. The Lord compares the chariots to the clouds. In this precept, here, the chariots are equal to angels, the precept we just read. Read it one more time for the top.
Come on. The book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place.
And the Lord is among them. The Spirit of the Lord is moving with these chariots. Because why? They are the angels.
Right.
They are the vehicles of the angels. Here's another ancient picture of how people seen chariots. They seen it with the spirit of an angel flying inside of that light. That's how they looked at angels. There are some more gruesome, not gruesome, but uneasy pictures of what an angel actually looks like in the Bible. Maybe I'll go over that next week where we'll go into angels, different types of angels, okay? But this would be a vehicle for an angel, a chariot. The Spirit of the Lord is in this chariot, okay? Now, if you could, let's get what I want. Give me the Wisdom of Solomon. Let me see. The Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 2. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 2. We hit all the precepts, right? Did we get Ezekiel 1 and 22? Let's see what Ezekiel 1 and 22 say. Let me get that real quick. Let me just hear that real quick.
Ezekiel 1 and 22?
Yeah.
Okay. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 22. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was the color of the terrible crystal.
Color of the terrible. You could drop that. You could drop that. I think that's more talking about the throne. The throne. I would like to break that down. Get a little more insight from General Hyman, and we'll break that down with the throne of God, with the angels under the firmament, and a throne sitting over the firmament, meaning like when it says the terrible crystal, it's talking about like glass, something you can see through. If you could, let's get the water. If you could, what's the last? So like I can't talk to nobody to see what's the last thing they heard. He said the sound went out. I'm trying to think. Where was I at? But let's get that. We'll end with this precept.
Wisdom of Solomon, what? Sorry.
Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 2.
Okay.
What I asked for? Or I guess you can start at 5 and 1 since we're at 2. That'll work.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors.
So this is the righteous man. We know there's the righteous, and we know there's the wicked. Right. We know that there is the proud, and we know that there is the meek on earth.
Right.
And we know that the righteous will in what? And let's read it from the top again.
Come on.
Excuse me.
The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
We know that the righteous man just like is the same as the meek man who shall inherit the earth. This righteous man will stand in boldness against those who have afflicted him.
Right.
In this day where it is darkness, it is judgment day. Go ahead.
Come on. And made no account of his labors.
And they made no account of his labors. They've looked at this righteous man as though he is worthless, he is useless, because he no longer can, feed them from free slave labor. So he is no longer of use anymore. And they don't look at his labors, and they don't care about his depression. They don't care about his generational curses. They don't care about how he has been affected by their ancestors and why he is so destroyed in every urban city and ghetto, and why he raps about death, and why his women rap about whoredom. And they look at him like, why are they here? We don't need them anymore. They are a virus to America. They are a virus to the world. They are lazy. They are this. They are that. We don't care about what they went through. We don't care about how hard their ancestors worked to give us what we want. We disregard all of their labors. Go ahead.
Verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
I'm sorry.
And
go back a little bit more. Just go back start from verse 1 again. I'm sorry.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors.
Right. They didn't give a damn about your labors. They don't care about what you're going through. They don't care about the hard situations you're living in. They say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Stop making excuses. Stop pulling the race card. Stop race baiting. Stop, stop victim blaming. Stop, all making excuses. I wasn't a slave master. You wasn't a slave. Stop it. They make no account of the labors of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But on Judgment Day, this is what will happen. Go ahead.
Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the at the strangest of his salvation.
When they see a black man named Jesus Christ return and come back the same way he left, in the sky filled with 200 million angels, and chariots opening up and doors, and black men getting out of those doors with afros, with supernatural power, and all of their technology falters. All of the technology in the F-22 Raptors and the carriers and the ballistic missiles, none of them have any effect. They will what?
When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
They will be troubled with terrible fear. Go ahead.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness, at the strangeness of his salvation.
And they will be amazed at the strangeness of your salvation. They will be amazed at the idea that the God of heaven and earth, the God that created this world from the old time until the new, from the old world into the new world order, they will be amazed that that God was always for you. They will be amazed at the strangeness of an unidentified flying object coming to defend you. And there are no gray men or green men with big eyes in these flying objects. They're niggas coming to save you.
Right.
Your salvation as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It will be a very strange thing to the high-minded in white society.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come on. So far beyond all that they looked for.
It will be so far beyond all that they looked for. Why? Because they thought that some LGBTQ white Jesus was going to come flowing down with, dandelions in his hair and a rainbow behind him and a cloud with 2 pots of gold on each side at the bottom. And he'll be reaching his arms out with love. They didn't think that there was going to be a nigga, a person with dark skin, a Negro coming to destroy and make his robe red with the blood of the people of the daughter of Babylon. They never thought that would happen.
Right.
It would be a very strange and terrifying day, but it will be a day of rejoicement. It will be a true Independence Day,
right,
for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Is there any more on that? That's it.
Come on.
Read it one more time.
The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
They shall be amazed. Now, all of their thinkers, all of their high-minded people in these underground bases, Area 51, all of these top secret officials and, high-minded people, they will be amazed at their incapacity to stop what is happening.
Right.
They will not understand what is happening. And it will be very strange to them because they never consider blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians worthy of anything. But all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, we're worthy of rulership of the world. We're worthy to be called the children of God. We're worthy to be overseers of the earth and be over them. And that will be very, very strange. It will be a heartthrob to those proud Americans.
Right.
Those, Donald Trump, redneck, patriotic, Colin Kaepernick is a son of a bee Americans. Those high-minded types will fall down on their knees and realize that the God of heaven and earth is a black man.
Right.
And realize that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have always been better than them.
That's right.
Keep reading.
Come on. So far beyond all that they looked for. Verse 3. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision.
They will say to themselves, these are the people that we had in derision. These are the people that we constantly oppressed. These people are the people we oppressed. These are the people that we said, build the wall. These are the people they said, you're not working hard enough. You're making excuses. These are the people that say, you don't deserve reparations. Stop begging. You never was a slave. These are the same people that we oppress, that our law enforcement unalived at a higher rate than anybody else. These are those same people.
Right.
We had in derision. Keep reading.
And a proverb of reproach.
And a proverb of reproach. Wetback. Spick. Red skin. Nigga with the hard R. The N-word with the hard ER, right? These are the proper, these are the words they called us. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 4. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor.
They said we fools accounted his life madness. We the fools for thinking that their lives are madness. We the ones that's really mad and lost. We the fools for thinking that there's no value in these people. Why? Because black on black crime, because of Chirac, because of, gang violence. Why? Because of they don't have fathers in the home, black single mothers. We accounted their lives as madness. Like their lives don't mean that their lives are madness. Black woman is angry. She's an angry black woman. She always got an attitude. We looked at these people as though their existence didn't matter. And they were supposed to be in the position they were in. They were supposed to be up under us. They needed us to be stewards and overseers of them because we're civilized. We're civilized. We're distinguished. We wear ties and suits. We're clean cut. We take care of our kids and, we hold businesses and we pass on what they call that stuff when you pass on wealth, pass on generational wealth, and we don't fall into foreclosure. We pass on the homes, and we're just perfect. We're the perfect example of what uprightness is supposed to be. And so these people, read that part again.
Come on.
We looked at these people.
Verse 4, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor.
And his end to be without honor. He's just going to end up, what's the brother? They just won the championship. Jaylen Brown on the Boston Celtics. He said when he was in high school, his teacher said he was going to, white teacher, said she'll look him up in the county jail or something like that. He turned out to be an NBA star, MVP of the finals, championship in the NBA. But they account us. Read that part again, please.
Verse 4, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor.
They counted our life madness, meaning you're just going to end up in the grave or you're going to end up in jail. You're a statistic. I already know how it's going to go for you and how it's going to end for you. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 5. How was he numbered among the children of God?
And they say, how is they numbered among the children of God? They are the children of God.
Right.
We've been lied to. This whole time we thought we were better than them. We thought they were somebody. We thought we were somebody, and we thought they were nobody. This is a very strange thing to see their salvation and to look in the sky and see millions of chariots coming to fight for them. It's like a Marvel movie. It's like a movie out of the future or something like that, where you have something that you couldn't even imagine happen for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
And you thought that they were nothing and they were dust and they were under you. But they are numbered as the children of God. We are the children of God. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are the people who the Lord loves.
Right.
We are the people who the Lord chose. And we are the people who the Lord is coming to save. With that, that's the class. Let me give shout outs. We went over, but we did start very late. Started very late. So Sister Barathanawa, shalom to you. UPK priest, Officer Quadashia Allah, Officer Aurora, shalom to you. Daughter of a king, shalom to you, sister. Halakban Yashikar, shalom to you, brother. Let me see. We had a couple of people rocking with us. The water to all of y'all that was rocking with us. Only a few of y'all was in the chat, but I see I got about 14, 15 people that's been watching, rocking with us. Listen, this is the Walga Bar under Commander General YAHANNA, under Captain Gadahar, Southern California. The water for y'all rocking with us. Next week, what we might go over is angels, different type of angels. Okay, the image of an angel, what an angel looks like compared to what the world says an angel looks like. That'll be part of what I'll bring. Okay, so with that, I'm going to play a video and then we'll be about it here. Shalom, Israel. Let's clap it up.
According to God, the white man is the devil. You see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop it. Ass you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, your ass need to stop it. Ass you to profit. It's about to get serious.